if you loved the latest electric Fiat 500E, and you should, it's brilliant, but for you it was just on the small side, then this might be just the thing you need, because this is the new Fiat 600E, which is basically the 500E, but it's bigger, chunkier, and yeah, looks like an SUV. That's the simple way of looking at the Fiat 600E, and it'll be enough to get most people interested. SUVs are super trendy these days, of course, but there's a lot more going on under the skin. Firstly, it's not actually a chunky 500E at all, technically. It's basically a Jeep Avenger, and built in the same factory, in Poland. And it uses parts also found in the Vauxhall Mokka-E and the Peugeot E 2008, among a few more. So it's a bit French, a bit American, a bit Polish, and with some Italian sprinkled on top. But what does that matter when it looks like this? All the things that make the 500E look cool and cute are here, but it does look a bit meaner than the 500E. Large model name in the centre, true Fiat style rather than the manufacturer badge. But I don't know, I'm still not sure about these eyelids. Jury's out for me on those. Now Fiat have done a very good job of basically making it look like a chubby 500E. Nice big wheels up to 18 inch to keep it all in proportion. What's interesting are the colour options. So Fiat have apparently banned grey, even though it's the UK's most popular car colour. Bold move, Fiat. Instead, you get uniquely Italian takes on 4 particular themes: sea, sun, sky and earth. But the earth colour is called sand. And I don't know what you think, but to me, doesn't it look quite grey? Maybe not so bold after all, Fiat. And then around the back, a very familiar slope, very 500-esque. And what's interesting is the boot size, 360 litres. That's double the size of the Fiat 500 and apparently the biggest in class. So says Fiat, and it does have some useful features, but the suspension covers at the side are quite intrusive, and you'll actually find a lot more space in a Kia Niro EV or a Peugeot E 2008. Fiat say this has 15 litres of front storage, which apparently is best in class, but maybe someone forgot to tell them that the Jeep Avenger, which is basically made on the same production line by basically the same company, has 34. Anyway, a cool central storage cubby, which has this nice looking iPad cover, but might get a little irritating. 3 cup holders, decent sized door bins, and a rather large glove box. It also has wireless charging and 1, 2, 3 USB ports, which is all well and good, apart from the kids in the back might have to fight over who uses that one USB. At least they won't fight about who uses the rear door pockets though, because there aren't any. A baffling oversight. There are pockets on the back of the chairs for phones or books, but it would be nice to have a central armrest with cup holders in. For me, legroom is sufficient, but if they're a taller driver, then perhaps that would start to feel a little squished. Headroom, definitely sufficient. Isofix on both sides. Considering it's the same height as the 500E, feels good, pretty spacious. But beyond all that, it's just really stylish in here. The dashboard is lifted from the 500, quite literally, and it looks lovely, including the integrated LED lighting. The touchscreen is fairly straightforward to use, and there are shortcut buttons for the main functions, so you're not fiddling around in menus too much, which is a good job, because the software design is quite busy. The main question though, does it drive as well as Fiat says it does? Right, where's the exit? We can't keep going around here all night. We're told it has a beautiful, joyful, pampered driving experience. Big talk. Pampered? I'd say overall, yes. First thing you notice is how quiet it is. I mean, obviously electric cars tend to be a lot quieter because you don't have the internal combustion sounds, but then usually you end up hearing an awful lot of tyre and wind noise, but actually Fiat have done a really good job of shutting that sound out. This Suspension is on the softer side too, soaks up the bumps well, and body control feels pretty good. When you turn sharply in a corner, it doesn't feel like the Leaning Tower of Pisa. So, you might worry that it doesn't have the same frisky character as the Fiat 500, the sense that it's small, nimble and fun, especially given that it's an SUV and it uses so many bits of other cars. But you shouldn't worry. You can feel the 500 in here. The steering is really light, but it turns the car quite sharply, and that means at higher speeds it feels kind of alert and alive. But around town, also dead easy to manoeuvre, kind of effortless. Unlike the Fiat 500, which can feel a bit cramped, this feels a lot less claustrophobic. Visibility is good too. It's a nice driving position and you've got a really good view of the road ahead. Plus, you can pretty much see all four corners of the car. The 600E has a single electric motor driving the front wheels, but the power you get depends on which of the three driving modes the car's in. In normal mode, it has 109 horsepower, but in Eco that drops to just 82 to make the battery last longer. And in Sport, it leaps up to 154. Driving modes in cars like this often don't make much difference, but in here, they really do. Whichever mode you're in, this is not the fastest of cars, 0 to 62 in 9 seconds. But if you're a speed demon or you like to regularly overtake, then pop it in sport mode because it does make a massive difference. It certainly feels an awful lot snappier. The 600E comes with a 54 kilowatt hour battery, which is good for about 249 miles or 372 if you're just pootling around town. Some of its rivals, like the Kia Niro or the Volvo EX30, do have bigger batteries, but it does charge pretty quickly at up to 100 kilowatts. So that's good for 0 to 80% in about half an hour. The £33,000 base model, called Red, doesn't have navigation. It also comes with steel wheels under plastic covers. Ugh! You'll need a top-level Prima model for your big alloys and your sat-nav, which is £37,000. It also comes with keyless entry, a massaging driver's seat, fully adaptive cruise control, including automatic stop and go in traffic, and even a hands-free tailgate. Loads of stuff, basically, but still no rear door pockets. Or grey paint. Never grey paint. Unless you go for sand, which is definitely not grey. Anyway, at least they're trying to encourage people to make bold colour choices. And that sums up the 600E pretty nicely. There's just something about it that's more fun, more joyful, if you like, than the average small crossover. And if that doesn't convince you, the price just might. Remember, at £33,000, it's nearly £4,000 cheaper than a Kia e-Niro and Peugeot e-2008, and almost £6,000 less than a Vauxhall Mokka E. And that combination of price, personality and practicality is what makes the 600E here so appealing. It's an affordable electric crossover that you'll buy because you want to, not just because you need the space. I like it. It's a shame it's not a bit quicker, although sport mode is quite fun. The space in the back is not huge, and boot space, while it's okay, it could be a problem if you had a large family, but that's just the thing, isn't it, with these crossover types. But all in all, yeah, if you're looking for a grown-up car, but you're not quite ready to be a grown-up, then this could be just the car for you.